Do you ever come back from a hike where you've done a lot of uphills and downhills and you've been on your feet a lot and maybe challenge your body a little bit, and you have this kind of afterglow from being out in nature, but at the same time you feel a little stiff and like you want to stretch things out a little bit but stay nice and relaxed? Well, welcome. My name is Gayle, and this practice is about giving your feet a rest, some TLC. We're going to open up our hamstrings and our quads and our calves and our spine, and just do this in a nice, sweet, relaxing way. So please get a blanket or a towel, something that you can roll up and will give you some support. And other than that, you just need your yoga mat, and we'll get started on our backs. Now just rest your hands on your belly and let your back totally relax into the earth. Feel the ebb and flow of your breath as it moves gently in and out through your nose. Pull your knees into your chest and maybe let your hips lift a little bit so you can stretch out your low back. And then float your feet up in the air and your arms up in the air for a dead bug pose. And just feel that your feet are floating above your hips and your hands are floating above your shoulders. But you're not lifting your shoulders up, you're keeping the shoulders down so that you can stay completely relaxed. And notice how if on each exhale, you peel back a layer and you feel even more relaxed, even more open, even more receptive to change, to whatever is coming your way. Let your fingers relax and your toes relax. And maybe feel that your legs are kind of wavering a little bit in the air. Maybe you can let your wrists completely relax. Notice the shift of energy from your feet when you are hiking and really working, putting your feet, giving your feet a lot of work to do, and now they're just able to relax. Then start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, and circle your wrists and your ankles. Reverse the circles. And then flex your hands and your feet and extend and point your fingers and toes. And just go back and forth, really pushing up through the heels of your hands and the heels of your feet when you're in flexion. And let your wrists curl forward and really stretch out through the front of your ankles, the top of your feet. And again, go back and forth at your own pace, just feeling your way into the movement. Not overstraining, but really trying to feel a nice, sweet stretch. Now come back to a neutral position. And you can keep your arms up in the air. You can rest your arms by your side. And then invert your ankles so you're stretching the outside of your foot toward the sky. Feel that stretch across the outer ankle bone. And then invert your ankles so the outside of your foot is a little bit contracted and the inside of your foot is stretching out. And just go back and forth between inversion and eversion. Then we'll do some rotation of the hips. So externally rotate your hips so your heels could come together. And you can push up through your heels. And then internally rotate your foot so your big toes can touch. And just go back and forth between an external rotation and an internal rotation. One more time. Then just pause again and notice how your legs feel, how your feet feel. Cross your right ankle above your left knee. And we're going to work on massaging the sole of our foot. So if you can't reach your foot lying on your back, you can try it sitting down or sitting in a chair. But take your left hand and thread your fingers between your right toes. See if you can get all the way to the base of your fingers and all the way to the base of your toes. So just wiggle in there, and you can even take your other hand to get those fingers deep within the space between your toes. And then what I like to do is put a little traction on your big toe. So I'm grabbing my toes and pulling them away from the heel. And then focus on flexing and extending your toes, using your hands as a little aid to maybe get a little more movement there. Take the thumb of your right hand and massage all along the 3 arches of your foot. So just for review, or it might be new to you, so everyone knows we have this big medial arch, the inside arch. But we also have an arch across the base of the metatarsal heads. So between our big toe and our pinky toe, there's a little arch. And also on the outside of the foot, the lateral arch. So just get in there. You don't have to go in super deep. But just get in there, massaging the connective tissues, the fascia, and noticing, how do your feet feel? Do they feel stiff? Do they feel pliable? Are there any tender spots? Are there any little lumps? And you've probably heard of foot reflexology, where we can see that different places in our foot correspond to different places, organs in our body. So by massaging your foot, you're giving your whole body some kind of gentle massage. Spread your toes and reach your foot up in the air and see if you can see the space between your toes. Really stretch out between the toes. And then we'll switch sides. So cross your left ankle above your right knee. Take your right hand and thread your fingers between your toes. Grab your toes and maybe create a little traction, pulling your big toe away from your heel. Then flex and extend your toes all the way. Feel that movement in your whole foot. And take your left thumb and massage the arches of your feet. And you can twist your foot. You want to feel that your foot is very pliable, very mobile. And spread your toes. Straighten your leg in the air. See the space between your toes. And hug your knees into your chest. Again, cross your right ankle above your left knee. Open your arms out to the side. And use the power of your left leg to pull your right leg in towards your chest. You can just pull in and release. Back and forth. You're also welcome to thread your right hand in between your legs for eye of the needle if that's a practice that you have. Then twist your right foot over to the left. Take your left hand and use your hand to pull your right foot into a position that feels pretty comfortable, but where you can feel a nice stretch as well as you open your right knee outward. And if you want, you could bring your knee in a little bit and then open it out again. So you're getting a little motion in the hips. And come back up to center. Switch sides. Cross your left ankle above your right knee. You could thread your left arm in between your legs or leave your arms out to the side. And just gently start to use your right leg to draw your left leg in towards your chest. And then release it and let it go. So nice and gentle, soft, easy movements. And then twist your left foot over to the right. Take your right hand, hold your left ankle. Adjust your foot to a comfortable spot where you can really open that left knee out to the left. Maybe hold it there for a few breaths, just letting your whole body relax. And gently roll your knee inward and back and forth. And come back up to center. Bring your knees to the sides of your ribs. You can use your hands on the back of your legs and just gently pull your knees wide and toward the floor. Holding your knees in position, lift your feet up. Do a little internal rotation so the inner thighs kind of move back and apart, and that'll square your feet a little bit. And keep your hips down and your shoulders down and reach your hands up. Now if your hands reach your feet, hold your feet. Otherwise you might need to hold your ankles or even lower on your calves for happy baby. And think of stretching out through your spine. Relaxing your shoulders and your hips. And then begin some gentle rocking motions. And then come back to center. Straighten your left leg and just hover it above the floor. Interlace your fingers on the front of your right shin, just below your knee. And flex and point your feet. You could circle both directions. And then lower your left leg to the ground. Interlace your fingers on the back of your right thigh, just above your knee. And flex your right foot and push up through your heel. Now the closer your leg is to your ribs, the deeper the hamstring stretch is going to be. But instead of popping your knee back, just straighten your leg. This is popping the knee back. See if you can hold your knee in one position and just lift up through your heel and then lower the heel down. So when you lower your heel down, you release the stretch. When you lift your heel up, you engage the stretch. And then you can fine tune just how close you want to bring your leg to your chest. So you can feel a nice stretch all along the back of your legs. So you can feel it in your hamstrings, your calves, back of your ankle. And reach up with your right hand to wherever you can reach, either your foot or your ankle or your calf again. Place your left hand on your left hip, anchor that left hip down, and slowly start to open your right leg out to the right without letting your left hip move. As soon as your left hip lifts up any amount at all, then stop. Hold here for a breath or two. Maybe if you want, you could pull your foot a little closer towards the direction of your head. And bring your foot back up. Take your left hand, reach across your right leg, open your right arm out to the side, and slowly roll your right leg over to the left. So you end up rolling to the outside of your left leg and to the inside of your right foot. Now, if your foot won't reach the floor, feel free to take that blanket that you have and use it to prop up your foot so you can rest. And twist your upper body back to the right. You can turn your head to the right. And there's also an option to bend your left knee and reach for your left foot with your right hand. We're just going to stay here for a few breaths. And make any little calibrations, adjustments, modifications that will help you to feel relaxed and open. And like you're getting a deeper stretch than if you were not doing anything. Let the tension melt out of your body. And we'll just stay here for a few breaths. You could think of externally rotating your right hip. So you're trying to reach your right hip bone away from your belly. It's just a subtle, soft movement. We'll stay here for another breath or two. Release your left foot if you are holding it. Pull your right hip down to the floor to raise your right leg up. Release your foot and extend out through your heel as you slowly lower your right leg all the way down. Once your heel touches, let everything relax. Bend your left knee, bring your left knee into your chest. Interlace your fingers on the back of your leg. Kick up through your heel and then extend your foot up toward the air. And release, blowing your heel towards your hip and press out and extend. So we're lifting and lowering nice and slowly. Maybe gradually bringing that left thigh a little closer to your ribs. But try not to press back through your knee. Instead, lift up through your heel. And you can hold it in an extended position for a little bit if you'd like. Then take your left hand and reach up, see where you can grab on your left foot. Place your right hand on your right hip bone and slowly start to open your left leg out to the left without letting that right hip lift up. As soon as you feel your right hip lift up, even just a millimeter, stop and hold. Maybe go a little bit further. Stop and hold. Bring your left leg up, switch hands, bring your right hand to the outside of your left leg, open your left arm out to the left, and bring your left leg across to the right. Again, you might need to prop that left leg up a little bit. And you may be able to bend your right knee, grab a hold of your right foot, and twist your upper body back to the left, and you can turn your head to the left as well. And we'll relax here. Again, make any little adjustments like I just did. I kind of moved my right knee back to the left a little bit more to get more of a stretch into my quads. We'll stay here for a few more breaths. Release your right foot if you were holding it. Open your left arm back out to the left. Pull your left hip down to float your left leg up. You can center your hips and slowly extend out through your heel as you slowly lower your left leg all the way to the ground. When your heel touches, just let everything relax. And hug your knees into your chest. Rock yourself up onto your hands and knees in tabletop. Claw the earth, your mat with your fingers, and just start to move your spine around. We'll do some nice, slow, easy cat-cows. So as you inhale, lift your tailbone, lower your ribs, send your chest forward and your chin up slightly, shoulders back. As you exhale, curl the tailbone under, rounding your spine, letting your head and neck relax. Just glide back and forth. And 2 more rounds. At your own pace, let your breath lead the way. And after your next cat, walk your knees back, lower your hips down, come onto your forearms. And just rock back and forth from hip to hip. Bend your left knee, try and squeeze your heel towards your hip. Bring your right hand across to support you. Look back for your left foot and use your left hand to gently bring your heel a little closer to your hip. And you can rock back and forth over your quad as you're stretching it. And you could use your hand to curl your toes under to stretch out the top of your foot. And if this is really tight for you, you can bring your heel close to your hip and then release it a little bit. So you're moving, and not just holding and straining, but just honoring whatever messages your body is giving you. Release your foot and we'll switch sides. So first, see if you can use your muscles to pull your heel towards your hip and reach back for your foot. You can always spin your fingers or not. You can roll back and forth across the right quad now. You can gently pull in deeper and release. Just a couple more breaths here. And release your foot. Walk your hands out to the side. Come up onto your fingertips and lift your shoulders away from the floor. Press the top of your feet into the floor. And just push down and forth, your hands curling up into a little baby cobra. And extend forward to lower down. And 2 more of those. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, extend forward. 1 more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, extend forward. Bring your hands by your sides. Curl up into your full cobra. And exhale, lower down. Come back to sit on your knees. Grab your blanket or your towel, whatever you have. And we're going to roll it up for a little support, just to open up our upper back a little bit. So take your time to roll your blanket or your towel up so it's not super lumpy, but it's kind of smooth. And you can roll it up to whatever thickness or height you want. So I rolled mine all the way up, but you don't have to roll it all the way up depending on how thick your blanket is or your towel. and place it perpendicular to the long edge of your mat. And we want that blanket roll to be right underneath the bottom of your shoulders, so that when you lie back on this, it's not way up by the top of your shoulders, but it's pushing the bottom tips of your shoulder blades up and letting your shoulders relax toward the floor, opening up your chest. You can bring your arms into whatever position you want. And you can stay here for as long as you want. So we're just going to stay for about 10 more breaths. Really letting your whole back open up. As you breathe, as you inhale, feel your whole torso expand. So your ribs expand upward, outward, and downward. And you feel like all this extra space is being created in your lungs and your ribs, and it transfers out into your whole body. And there's 2 more breaths here. And bend your knees, roll to your side, and either roll up to seated, or you can move the blanket off to the side and lower onto your backs for a short, sweet savasana, or as long as you want to make it. But I hope that you feel really rested and open, and that your legs feel better, your feet feel better, and that you just appreciate that you've taken some time to take care of yourself and give your body, and especially your feet, some TLC, because we tend to forget about our feet. Anyway, please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Hit the like button, that's really helps me a lot. And spread the word, tell your friends, send them a link, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.